Welcome to this explainer, where we are tackling Cambridge Information Technology 9626, and specifically, we're going to help you find the absolute perfect angle to frame your answers for the examiners. I want you to think of yourself as a photographer for a second, a truly brilliant photographer, right? They don't just point a camera and hope for the best. No way. They look at the subject, they find the perfect lighting, they adjust the focal length, and they frame the shot to highlight the exact specific evidence they want the viewer to see. And honestly, that is exactly what we need to do with these Cambridge exams. Today, we are focusing on one of the most infamously misunderstood areas across all the major syllabuses. We're talking 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, and especially 9626. We're diving deep into section 14.6, Connection versus Connectionless modes. Over the next chunk of time, we are going to completely deconstruct the exact step-by-step strategies that top-tier students use to frame their answers perfectly. We're going to discover exactly how you can stop leaving so many easy, guaranteed marks on the table.
Okay, so let's dive into this massive question that literally plagues so many students taking this exam, creating this huge knowledge gap right when it matters the absolute most. To really understand why this happens, let's picture a real Cambridge computer science past paper question, code 0417. It's a classic, high-stakes 6-marker asking you to critically compare TCP and UDP. Now, I want you to imagine two typical students facing this exact prompt under exam conditions. First up, we have Alex. Now, Alex is the kind of student who stays up until 3 a.m. highlighting everything. Alex has memorized the entire textbook. So Alex writes this massive, sprawling paragraph, completely overloading the answer with raw computer science facts. You know, who invented TCP, the exact year it was standardized, a bulleted list of every single protocol layer. But Alex provides absolutely zero analysis of the actual scenario in the question. And what happens? The examiner's red pen just mercilessly strikes right through it. 0 marks for context. Then, on the other hand, we have Sam. Sam looks up at the clock, sees time slipping away, panics, and completely rushes. Sam completely misses the specific command words in the prompt and just scribbles down TCP is safer and UDP is faster, completely ignoring the specific application context the examiner asked for. And boom, more red pen. Both Alex and Sam are going to fail this specific question. Why? Because they didn't frame their knowledge according to the strict rules of the exam. They just info-dumped or panicked.
We have a really clear roadmap for today to fix this. We'll cover 1. The section 14.6 trap, 2. Connection versus connectionless modes, 3. The method mark strategy, 4. Top 3 examiner warnings, and finally 5. The exam success blueprint.
All right, kicking things off with section 1, the section 14.6 trap, mastering the conceptual framework.
Principal examiner reports consistently flag this specific area as one of the most misunderstood topics in the entire information technology syllabus. The huge trap here is thinking that simply defining a network protocol is enough to get the marks. Let me tell you right now, it is not. Examiners are specifically assessing your conceptual framework, your deep understanding of the underlying systemic differences in how data actually travels across a network. A core principle, pulled directly from the syllabus guidelines, states that top-performing students exhibit connected, conceptual understanding. But what does transferable to unfamiliar contexts actually mean in plain English? It means the examiner is probably going to give you a scenario you have literally never seen before in your life, like say a proprietary live streaming application for a remote hospital surgery unit, and ask you to justify a specific connection mode. This is exactly where you absolutely must master Cambridge's specific assessment objectives by breaking down the command words. If the command word is evaluate and you just describe, you are getting 0 marks for your analysis, period. Before we continue and break down how to fix this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGC, to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Because remember, top students decode the command word first, and then they apply their conceptual understanding to the completely unique context provided in the paper.
Moving right along to section 2, connection versus connectionless, the critical comparative analysis.
Let's move into the core theory here and build that perfect frame for our answer. Understanding the fundamental architecture of these two modes is absolutely crucial, because I promise you, examiners are going to ask for a critical comparative analysis. First up, we have connection mode, which is primarily represented by TCP. This operates on incredibly precise definitions and strict causal relationships. I want you to think of it exactly like making a traditional phone call. You dial the number, you wait for the ring, the other person picks up, you literally establish a connection. You say hello, you confirm they heard you, you have your conversation, and then you officially hang up. That is TCP in a nutshell. It requires an established, systematic, logical connection before a single byte of your payload data is ever transferred. Now, how do we actually write about this to get the maximum possible marks? This is where we introduce the PEEL framework. PEEL. Point, evidence, explanation, link. Your point, TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. Your evidence, it utilizes a strict three-way handshake. Your explanation, this handshake ensures that all data packets arrive in sequential order and any lost packets are immediately retransmitted. Your link, therefore TCP is the absolute necessary choice for the scenario's banking file transfer system where data integrity cannot be compromised under any circumstances. Notice how incredibly different that structured approach is from Alex's panicked raw fact dumping?
Now, conversely, we have connectionless modes like Ethernet, IP, and of course, UDP. They handle data entirely differently, and understanding this stark distinction is your very first step to unlocking those higher-level marks. If TCP is a secure, monitored phone call, UDP is basically dropping a postcard into a public mailbox. You write the address, you slap a stamp on it, you send it off, but there is absolutely no prior dedicated connection set up. There is no guarantee it will arrive in the right order, or honestly, even arrive at all. Think back to our student Sam who panicked and just wrote, UDP is faster. Marks were heavily lost there because there was absolutely no conceptual explanation behind that statement. A proper, PEEL-structured answer would note that because UDP completely omits the three-way handshake and the heavy error-checking overhead, its actual transmission speed is significantly higher. This makes it optimal for, say, a live video feed scenario where real-time delivery and low latency are prioritized over perfect pixel integrity. You have to clearly demonstrate to the examiner that you understand the architectural trade-offs taking place.
And this brings us to what I like to call the compare and conquer arc. It brilliantly illustrates that examiners demand you identify similarities and differences, and you must do this using proper comparative connectives and supported evidence. It is a massive, common mistake to just write one long paragraph all about TCP and then a completely separate, disconnected paragraph all about UDP. Guys, that is not a comparison. The examiner won't do the work for you. You must bridge them using connective phrases like whereas, on the other hand, or conversely. Let's do a quick 30-second interactive challenge right now. I'm going to give you two answers, and I want you to spot which one follows the PEEL framework and uses proper connectives. Ready? Answer A. TCP sets up a connection. UDP does not set up a connection. TCP is used for emails because it is safe. Answer B. While TCP establishes a systematic logical connection to ensure strict data integrity, making it highly suitable for secure emails, UDP conversely operates in a connectionless mode, deliberately sacrificing guaranteed delivery for significantly reduced latency. If you picked answer B, congratulations, you are already thinking exactly like a top-tier candidate. It contrasts the two protocols directly in the same breath and provides the actual technical why behind the mechanism.
Okay, let's jump into Section 3, the method mark strategy, process over perfection.
Now, we are pivoting from just pure theory into actual execution. We are looking at what I call the method mark strategy, and it is an absolute game changer. We are moving from the theoretical foundations into hardcore technical methodology. Imagine taking all those brutal red pen marks on those rushed, panicky papers and watching them transform, step by step, into beautiful green check marks. We achieve that transformation by understanding a core secret. The Cambridge grading rubric often rewards your analytical process just as much as your final conclusion. What's really interesting about this slide is the explicit alert pulled directly from the examiners themselves, showing your procedural step-by-step working is a non-negotiable safety net. Process over perfection. When you are analyzing a complex network diagram or interpreting a data table to recommend a specific connection mode, do not just jump straight to the final recommendation. Systematic processing follows a standardized sequence. You have to identify the key elements, apply the relevant networking principles, and execute the analysis with clear, visible logic. Listen to this. If you recommend the completely wrong protocol at the very end of your essay because you misread one minor detail in the prompt, but your analytical framework was sound, logical, and clearly documented using PEEL, the method marks will literally save your grade from completely tanking. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at @ACExams_IGCSE, to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 entire grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @ACExams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never ever miss our weekly exam strategy sessions.
All right, let's look at the actual framework. Here is your standard, foolproof 5-step sequence to tackle literally any 14.6 question.
This proves to the examiner that you have a systematic, highly disciplined approach. Let's visualize a quick 60-second rewrite attempt using these 5 steps. Let's pretend we're in the exam hall right now. Step 1. Deconstruct the command word. Are they asking you to describe a protocol or evaluate its suitability for a business? Huge difference. Step 2. Extract the relevant data from the prompt. What is the actual business trying to achieve? Is it secure banking or is it fast video streaming? Step 3. Select your analytical framework. In our case, we pull out our trusty Peel structure. Step 4. Execute with clear notation. Write your points logically using those comparative connectives like conversely that we just talked about. And finally, Step 5. Present using correct professional terminology. Please do not write "the data gets lost." Write "packet loss occurs due to the lack of error checking overhead in the connectionless mode." That one simple shift in your vocabulary instantly elevates your entire answer from a middling band right up to the top tier.
As it says right there, integrating these steps genuinely takes practice, but mastering them is the literal difference between a failing grade and absolute top marks. Building this systematic muscle memory now will completely transform your performance when exam day actually arrives. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations.
Let's get into Section 4, Top 3 Examiner Warnings, Avoiding the Common Pitfalls.
Let's step directly into the examiner's shoes for a minute and look at the top 3 recurring errors pulled directly from the principal examiner reports year after year. If your answers are vague, poorly formatted, or totally ignore the specific exam context, you are just leaving guaranteed marks on the table. Let's run a quick interactive workshop right now. Challenge 1, data scan. Imagine I just put a complex data table on your desk showing network latency, packet loss percentage, and bandwidth requirements for a brand new corporate application. You have a 60-second mental timer going right now. Could you extract the core trend? Top-scoring candidates don't just blindly copy numbers from the table onto their paper, they interpret the relationships between those numbers. They look at a high packet loss stat alongside a high-speed requirement, and they instantly recognize that this specific context demands a connectionless mode like UDP. Then they state exactly why, using the specific numbers from that table as their hard evidence. If you just write down, "it needs to be fast," you've fallen right into warning number 1, your answer is way too vague, and you get 0 marks.
Let's keep the workshop going with Challenge 2, Find the Flaw. I'm going to read you a sample answer, and I want you to find the exact sentence that loses the mark. Listen closely. UDP is a connectionless protocol that sends data quickly, making it better than TCP. It is used in live streaming. Did you spot the massive flaw there? The sentence losing marks is the completely baseless claim, making it better than TCP. Better how, exactly? Better is a highly subjective, totally useless word in computer science. In this field, we use specific, measurable metrics, like lower latency, reduced bandwidth consumption, or less packet overhead. A protocol is not universally better than another. It is just more appropriate for a specific use case. Furthermore, the answer lacks strict analytical conventions. Which brings us to Challenge 3, Speed Writing. The next time you are doing past papers, I want you to set a 30-second timer on your phone to force yourself to write one perfect Peel paragraph. Ditch the fluff, ditch the word better, and focus purely on your point, evidence, explanation, and link.
And finally, Section 5, the Exam Success Blueprint. Deconstruct, solve, evaluate.
To finish off our explainer today, let's lock in a final, robust system that you can deploy for literally any problem-solving scenario in Cambridge computer science. By actively using this deconstruct, solve, evaluate framework, you are directly fulfilling the higher-order assessment objectives that the examiners are absolutely desperate to reward you for. This encapsulates 3 golden rules that essentially guarantee top marks. Rule 1, command word decoding. You must identify exactly what is being asked before you write a single word. Rule 2, Peel framework application. You break the problem into logical steps and solve systematically using point, evidence, explanation, and link. Rule 3, the time management matrix. You must check your answer for reasonableness and make strictly justified recommendations. Listen to this part closely. When you justify a recommendation, you don't just say why your chosen protocol is good. You explicitly state why the alternative protocol is worse for this specific scenario. That type of evaluative thinking, weighing alternatives and comparing approaches with hard evidence, is the absolute hallmark of an A-star candidate.
Students who consistently implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 whole grade boundaries. But, and this is a big but,
That only happens if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. When you ground every single answer in context and use professional terminology, you build a fortress around your answer, making it practically impossible for the examiner to take those marks away from you. Applying the method mark strategy, grounding your analysis in the specific context of the prompt, and presenting it with professional Cambridge terminology creates a framework that practically guarantees success. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by.
Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your exact target grade for computer science and the single biggest challenge you're facing right now. Our team responds to every single comment, so let's get a discussion going. Also, be sure to like and share this explainer with a study partner who needs to hear this. Remember, whether you are dealing with TCP, UDP, or any other wildly complex concept, always find the perfect angle and frame your answer with solid evidence. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here. Thanks for joining this explainer, and keep exploring.